This is Lansdowne Road, the voice of the fans, and this is 5 Irish breakout stars for the 25-26 season. David Dunn here, joined by Conor McAvoy, and today we're going to have a little look, well, as I said, at 5 breakout stars. Before we do that, do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Do not forget to hit the like button, and do not forget to go over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account, and head over to lansdowneroad.ie. Just do it. It's fun. I do it. It's brilliant. Conor, how are you doing? You've dragged me into another one of these videos.
Good. It's good. Yeah, sure. This is what has to be done, isn't it? Keep the fans happy. They seem to, these videos always do well with the fans. Well, I don't say the fans, but some people don't like us. But people that like to see this sort of content. But yeah, it's a great it's great to be back on doing one of these ahead of a very, very, very exciting season at all levels for Ireland. We have a World Cup coming up at one age group under 17s, and we have World Cup qualifiers at another age. So, and the European Championship of 21s qualifiers start again in September. So, at all levels, it's going to be a very exciting year.
Absolutely. So, since I'm all excited and you're all excited, let's get into it. First player we have here is, and if you are familiar with Lansdowne Roar, you're going to be familiar with this lad here. It's Ike Aratsi, 18-year-old left winger, a Stad Ram, of course, playing in League Duh.
Yeah.
Can tell us about him, please?
Yeah. Just a preface, because I put this tweet out earlier just to get what fans thought on RepTrack on Twitter, what they thought of players that they think could have a breakout this year. I've seen a few names thrown about, like Rocco Vata, and people saying, "Oh, Evan Fergus is going to have a break." My definition of breakout year, which I think Dave agrees with, is a player that is either playing academy football or has been on like the periphery of first team football, that hasn't really had their moment of coming out or they're establishing themselves. Like, I don't consider, I say Rocco Vata or Ferguson lads at that extent. Like, so that's why I don't think, like, that's why I think IK, as I've spoke glowingly over the last probably year and a half, on here anyway, I've been probably a year, but in terms of on social media, it's been 2-3 years, because I think this lad is a special talent. And I know there's a lot of things about, especially we've seen it today, about a young Irish player that didn't want to get hyped up, but some things, lads, it just happens. It just naturally just happens with players, that hype comes, and rightfully so at times, because if you're that good, you're going to get it. And this lad simply is that good. He is an outstanding footballer, could play on the left, could play on the right, could play as a number 10, a silky left winger, really, I would say, that has that low center of gravity, but is also at a very good height, that he can use his body very well. He can finish, he can create, he can take men on, and he's just a joy to watch, in all honesty. And I think this season, Dave, is going to be real, his establishing season, because he his League One debut last season. He played a couple of times in the Cup with Stad Rem, but he was only a 17-year-old. Like, he's only just turned 18, and he hasn't really got that opportunity. And then the relegation battle obviously wouldn't have helped his case, but from what I've heard, he's definitely in the first team this season with Stad Rem, and he's been playing with them in pre-season. They're in the second tier of France now, which I think, as bad as it is for a club like Stad Rem to be in the second tier, for his development, it's going to be a huge year, because he's going to get the opportunities, and I think he's going to show everyone how good he is. And I think he's going to put himself, as mad as it is going to put himself in an Ireland senior picture in the not near distant future, because he's just that good. I think he's simply as an outstanding talent, and I think that he's a player we should be excited to watch. And it's kind of it's starting to become the common consensus in Irish football that you can't get excited for young Irish players coming through anymore. That, if you get excited, you're putting unfair pressure. But sometimes you have to get excited, because that's what football fans are for. And even if it doesn't work out for a player, doesn't mean they weren't an excellent young player. And yeah, so I can't wait to see what IK can produce this season.
Yeah, so be excited, right? As Conor,
appreciate greatness. That's why you appreciate Ref Tracker and you appreciate IK Razzie.
I was going to say, you don't appreciate me, pal. Next up, Romeo Akachukwu. Akachukwu. Sorry, butchering some of these names. 19-year-old. He is a centre midfielder at Southampton, who, of course, are back down in the Championship. Tell us a bit about him, Conor.
Yeah, I think he's another one, Dave, that'll benefit from relegation, because he's another outstanding player. He's what many would call the Irish Paul Pogba, in terms, I know you don't like Paul Pogba, but for a younger
generation, the lad now, for God's sake.
Everyone in my generation who enjoys football with their eyes likes Paul Pogba, at least the style of player with that.
No, you love his
has that.
stats, Connor. You love his stats. You
Shush,
sit there with
shush.
your little calculator. Yeah. You don't actually watch the game, but
No,
anyway.
you, if you seen about a football I watch in a week, you'd be scared. But anyway, what Romeo is it? You would be. But Romeo is he is that sort of Paul Pogba type player. He is extremely good athlete. Is a sort of player that plays in midfield, can pick up the ball and take men on. And he did score the greatest goal probably ever scored by an Ireland player at any age group when he scored that goal in under 17 Euros a couple of years ago alongside Arazi. It was the team goal. It started on his own penalty box with the work the whole way up. And then he smashed it in from 35 yards out to the top corner, which kind of established himself as this guy has something about him, because originally he wasn't really a starter with that team, and then he just blossomed into this. He's just that unbelievable athlete where you play him in the middle of the park and he has that technical ability, but he also has the physical attributes to really be a top modern day midfielder, which we kind of see in Irish football. It's kind of, you either have the physical attributes or you have the technical attributes. We don't really have the blend, which he has, which makes it very exciting. And we've seen with Waterford, when he was at Waterford, scoring a hat-trick. I remember in the playoff semi-final that helped get them back up to it was a second half playoff. He came on in the second half and scored a hat-trick coming off the bench, which shows that he's not just a midfielder that can dominate possession. And I've seen him play against some of the best midfielders in Europe his age, and sometimes he looks head and shoulders above the rest. So he's a really exciting player. I think hopefully he'll get his chance to start happening this season. Obviously, they still have a lot of money, and like they do have a lot of quality. Like they've likes of Will Smallbone, who's an established international in that team. And even if he went out alone, I think it's still going to be his breakout season, because we're going to see a lot from Romeo this season. And I think he's going to be in Ireland under 21 this year. He missed out in the last camp through a niggle he'd picked up, and he was meant to be on the bench in the last day of the Premier League season, which hopefully he would have made his debut. But yeah, it shows how good of a talent he is.
Yeah, no, looking forward to seeing this lad. And yeah, as you say, relegation probably has helped him.
Yeah.
Perversely. Next up, Freddy Turley. He's a 19-year-old centre back, also can play right back, and he's at Derby County. Tell us a bit about this lad. I don't think it's a name I've heard before.
Yeah, I think Freddy Turley he's kind of gone under the radar because he's a defender, and kind of it's always the thing, isn't it, David? Irish fans these days, it's we have enough centre backs, we have enough full backs. Well, not left backs, but we kind of go, where's our midfielders? Where's our wingers? Where's our number 10s? But when the thing is, I think Freddy Turley's he's an excellent player. He's been heavily involved in Derby's pre-season this year. He played tonight against Walsall. I think he played at full back. I think he's been mixed between full back, wing back, and centre half. It shows his versatility that he whipped in an unbelievable cross that put it out. What you'd say, he put it onto the back stick and the left winger then passed it across. But you'd say it really all came from his wonderful ball, and shows his quality. He's got Derby fans. I've seen a lot of Derby fans are saying they're really hopeful that he gets a chance this season, because he's really shown how good of a player he is. He's only moved over a year ago. And he has been excellent. He's been at Shamrock Rovers. He had a loan spell at Bray Wanderers last season as well, which would have benefited him getting that men's experience. And he got Ireland under 19 Player of the Year and captained under 19. So it shows he's not just quality on the pitch, he has a bit of leadership to him as well. And I think he's another that could really break into Derby team this season. And if he's not a starter, he's going to get minutes, because it's the type of league you're going to play week in week, or you're playing twice a week. And because he can play a fullback, the manager will be able to rely on him to play a fullback at centre half. And I think he's an outstanding player. He's obviously another one of the Shamrock Rovers product that is producing player after player. And it's good to have another lad that it's a lot of lads we give hype to, or not really hype to, a lot of praise to, are kind of always the attackers, but it's good to have someone in there as a defender that's kind of starting to shine. And especially as a 19-year-old, it's very hard to break into first teams as a young defender, because the manager is always kind of going to go, isn't it, the experienced head who's been through the ringer.
And you can also, just looking here in transfer market, apparently he can play in defensive midfield as well.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can. He can play midfield as well. So versatility is key, isn't it?
So many Irish players are versatile.
Yeah, the new modern day John O'Shea.
Don't say that now. I joke. Next up, Jade Numa, 17-year-old left winger at Benfica. And
Benfica, fancy.
Benfica.
Yeah, there's no A after the N. Benfica.
It could be worse, actually. Somebody I used to work with. It is quite late, so I'm butchering these names. But a friend of mine used to call him Benefica. When he used to work in the that used to be funny because you could never pronounce football names. It was brilliant.
Neither can you. why are you mocking your mate when you're not doing anyone? But
Just tell us about the fucking player.
I think you've heard me talk about Jade Numa up over the last couple of years, Dave. I think everyone's heard me. I think people are probably sick of me talking about Jade Numa because this lad just has it all, doesn't he? He's just that gifted player that has all the physical, technical attributes to be a top player. I remember his Cork team were in Dublin Airport a couple of years ago. I remember when I was flying, I was thinking, who is this side? Because there was a lot of small lads, about 5'5", and then you had this lad that was like 6 foot. And then I recognized it was Jade Numa, and I was like, yeah, this lad's probably, you always wonder, like, is he an early developer? But he's just not. He's just is physically just going to be a monster probably forever. And he's the type of winger, he gets you off your seat, takes men on with that pace, the power. We've seen with under 17s qualifying for the World Cup. He almost even though there was so much quality in the team, but his goals and the moments of magic he was able to produce was that kind of that X factor that he has. And he's at one of the best academies in Europe. I know he's with their under 23s for pre-season. I think he'll break into it because the way Benfica have it, they have it like under 17s, under 19s, under 23s, and then they have a B team and then a first team. Whilst a lot of teams like in England, their B team would be their reserve team, but obviously the B team is full of 21, 22, 23-year-olds, which is considerably older than Jade Numa. He's only 17, and I would make an argument he's probably as good as any player in Europe at his age right now, and I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. And I think he's that player that we could look in Ireland in a couple of years and say, he is our superstar. He is our man that can hopefully maybe be fast tracked into the senior team as soon as possible. I don't want to set him until he starts playing senior football, but the fact that he's the World Cup to look forward to by in November with the 17s, and he'd be looked as one of the probably star players in that tournament that can maybe produce something for Ireland, and that Irish team has the potential to go very, very far in that tournament. And if he's on form, no one can stop him, is a simple way of putting it. No one can stop him when he's at his best. I've seen him play up front as well for the Ireland team as well. And even when they play, sometimes they can play five at the back, and they can play with maybe himself and Michael Noonan as the front two, and which isn't a bad front two in all fairness. And yeah, I think this lad has it all to be a top player. And it's like he's coming, you can see with his brother as well, Franco, it runs in the family of having serious footballing talent. And yeah, I just think that he'll probably end up in the B team, I think, in the not so distant future. And then once you get in the B team with Benfica, you're on the verge of getting in that first team. And I think he's going to be a star.
Yeah, best luck to you, young man. Jade Numa, Benfica. And last but not least, Harry Vaughn, 21-year-old attacking midfielder, left winger, and he is at Hull City.
Yeah. Because Harry Vaughn, I say you probably remember Harry Vaughn, Martin Dave, late at night, from about
dare ever say that to me again.
I'd say you remember Harry Vaughn from a couple of years ago when he first moved to Hull City from when he was at Oldham, and he went in when Liam Senior was the manager, and he took a fancy to him in training, and he was playing when there was probably a 2-3 month spell where Harry Vaughn was playing regularly for Hull, and he was doing exceptionally well, and we thought this lad was getting, because we always seen the technical ability, but he's quite small physically, and his body is quite, and he's had a couple of injuries, but he's always been technically an unbelievable player. Can play as a number 10, can play on the wing. It's kind of probably been the thing with his size. It's kind of pushed him out to the wing a bit at his age to trying to fit in the system. But I just don't think we have seen his breakout season as of yet because of how good of a player he is. And he's had a couple of loan spells. I remember he had a tough one at Bristol Rovers a couple of years ago, which kind of probably knocked his confidence a bit. And then he's gone back to Hull last season. He kind of played with the 21s for a lot of the season. He got minutes in the first team. And when he got his minutes in the first team, he done very well. But I know they signed the likes of Louis Barry that came in and kind of automatically just trusted him out of the team, but he's another one that is a benefit. I think going to benefit of the circumstances at his club this season. Whilst the other lads are benefiting from relegation, I think he's going to benefit from Hull City having a transfer embargo on their heads. So yeah, I think he's an outstanding player. Another one. He's very small, but he's at low center of gravity where he can. Lads that are twice the size him cannot get the ball off him because he uses his body so well as well, and he's an excellent ball carrier. He has great vision. He can play as a 10, obviously play on the left. We could probably play on the right if you wanted to. He's probably as smart of a footballer. And yeah, I think this is going to be his real like breakout season as such, where I think he's going to establish himself as one of the main men in that Hull City team. And as I'd imagine it's going to be probably a struggle for them this season in terms of probably pushing to where they want to be with the money they've invested over the last couple of years. But yeah, I think he's going to have a massive season, and he's going to be a key man for the Ireland 21s, which looks like there's going to be a lot of key men that are going to be playing first team football this season. So I think he's more of all them lads, he has the most first team football experience, I do think. But I do think that he's just hasn't had his long term full season or even 6 months of being in a first team, which he's deserved. So I think this is going to be his year. We're going to see him kind of break into or blossom into a real star at that Hull City side.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us what you think of those 5 breakout players.
And Dave, who's your breakout player? Go on.
Why do you like to ask me these questions?
Because we want to know the fans. If people don't want to just hear what I think.
Well, Conor, you're Red Tracker. You're the Oracle. You're the master. They talk to you about the players of the future. I talk about the players of the past and the present.
Yeah.
And then I like to poke
This
holes
is the present, yeah.
Well, no, we're talking about the future. So I don't want to rain in your parade. I don't want to steal your thunder. So this is your show, Conor.
Okay, yeah.
So there you go, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, smarmy little bastard. I was trying to catch me out. I cannot wait until I turn the tables again when we're live.
And what you're going to say, some young player I've never heard of? Something stupid, like someone's going to say some name like Phil McCracken or something, or bend over, and you're going to believe that?
I wouldn't believe bend over now. Not that bad. Masturbate, yeah, that's got me a few times. Oh, that's probably just kind of a filthy mind. No, yeah. Well, what do you think of those 5 players that Conor has handpicked? Have we missed any? Is there anyone else you could think of? Please don't say Evan Ferguson or something stupid like that. Just play. Like come on. He had his breakout season.
Bennett?
Yeah, good to see him back at training. But any players that you think we've missed in that criteria? Someone is kind of just bubbling underneath. The first team. Anyway, Conor, thank you for that, and thank you for watching at home. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. The funny thing is, we were actually getting on so well, Conor. You just had to ruin it at the end, didn't you?
I'm so sorry.
It always has to be. Always has to needle me, and anyway.
Cry me a river.
I'm fucking hit you. Fucking when I see you next time. See me attacking you at the airport. No. Peace and love, Conor. That's what it's all about, isn't it? We're a happy podcast over here. We don't get angry. Anyway, right. Yep. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. And if you haven't already, hit the like button on this video and head over to lansdowneroad.ie. That is lansdowneroad.ie. This won't be on an audio version. There won't be an audio version of this, Conor. This is a YouTube exclusive. So, yeah. But if you do listen to our podcast, give us a 5-star review. It makes sense. Right. We're going to head off. I'm David Dunn. He is Conor McAvoy. This is Lansdowne Roar. And you're all lovely. Good night.